Hi, hello, my name is Jake Pollock. Before I begin, I have posted an exact copy of this PowerPoint. It would help if you pulled it up and followed along with the video. The topic I've chosen is video games in adolescent children. My research question that I devised was, does video games have a positive and negative effect on the adolescent child? The proposed method for answering the research question would include having a small focus group of 10 families that are close to me. I picked these 10 people mainly because they had no problem talking about their child's activities while playing adolescent video games. They had no reason to lie, and they all knew each other and felt comfortable. The online survey also worked because it helped gather lots of information very fast. I had people from all over where I lived answering the question truthfully, and it just really brought the research together. Things that didn't work was posting stuff on social media, mainly because most of my friends don't have children and therefore could not do the survey. Also, people just tend to not answer truthfully or just even at all. I also tried handing out hard copies at stores, in front of stores, with URLs that led to my survey, but again, that didn't work at all. And handing out hard copies just ended up costing too much money and a waste of time. Alright, the rationale and purpose for this study was to increase the number of studies actually done that involved video games in adolescent children. One of the hardest things was to find information that actually included these two things, these two topics. Another reason and purpose for the study was to introduce video games into the classroom, also to show the positive and negative effects of video games on adolescent children, and the fact that video games are all around us and can actually impact our lives pretty severely. Alright, for the review of literature, there weren't that many articles that I found to be helpful, let alone lead to that much information, but through much research and much time, I did find some improvements that video games led to adolescent children. Some of these include behavior, cognitive thinking, physical activity, problem solving, educational purposes, meaning video games in the classroom have improved their learning ability, stimulate brain activity, and also social ability. Some negative sides that I found through other research included harmful sleep patterns, addictiveness, cognitive empathy, and social skills. These are both positive and negative that I also found in my research. After I collected and analyzed the information that I gathered from the surveys, which can be seen here on the PowerPoint, I noticed some general correlations. Some of them include my child becomes aggressive after playing video games, and that is a direct correlation to both genders, boy and girl, ages 12 through 18, with a p-value of 0. My child's attention span after playing video games has had a noticeable decrease. That is at a 0.06 p-value, which shows that it's not really a strong correlation at all. I have seen a decrease in my child's schoolwork after playing extensive amounts of video games with a p-value of 0.04, which means that it's a correlation but not a strong one. I've noticed an addictive-like behavior between my child and video games. That is true for both children, boys and girls, with a p-value of 0.0. My child plays video games late into the night, no matter what gender, still has a p-value of 0. Other information that I found can be seen here. I have seen a decrease in my child's schoolwork after playing extensive amounts of video games. With both children is a 0.04, which means it is a strong correlation. I have noticed an addictive-like behavior between my child and video games, which can be seen as a positive correlation with a 0.0 p-value. Then over here, we have the mean, median, and mode of all questions that are answered by the 112 people that answered my survey. Most of them have a positive value, a high mean, which shows a direct correlation to both children, boys and girls. Taking a closer look at the information that I found throughout this study, I broke it down a little bit further. As you can see here, the gender of my child compared to the addictive behavior. As we've seen before, it still has a p-value of 0, and that's still very high. My child shows a lack of interest in other children's lives and directly relates to addictive-like behavior of video games, meaning that both of them show 100% p-value of 0. My child's problem-solving ability in correlation with the rating of video games also has a p-value of 0, which means that no matter what the rating of the video game is, there's still a chance of problem-solving ability increased. The attention span of a child after they have played video games and playing video games late into the night does have a small correlation of 0.06, which is still not that strong of a correlation, but I still consider it a somewhat positive correlation. Lastly, the rating of the video game influences your decision, the parent, to buy the video game and how old the child is. I found this quite interesting because no matter how old the child was, whether they be 12 or 18, the parent pretty much always said that the rating of the video game matters to them. And to me, that is one way to decrease bad behaviors due to video games. You wouldn't let a 12-year-old play a mature game that would cause them to act out or in a violent way or any other way. I found that quite interesting. There are many limitations to the study, as many of my classmates probably had the same limitation: time. Me personally, since we only had about 1 to 1.5 to 2 months to actually complete the survey, if I were to do it again, I would have taken about a month to create the survey and probably 1.5 to 2 months to distribute it, and then probably another month to actually analyze and form a proper hypothesis. The number of participants was also a limitation. I personally had 112, but in an ideal situation, I would have rather had close to 2, maybe 3,000, as to get a general feel for the many different children of different ages, ethnicities, and geographical area, just to get a strong reading of how every child reacts to video games. Lack of diversity in participants, as I just mentioned. Most of my participants included just average middle-class white Americans. There wasn't that diverse of a population. In an ideal situation, I would have expanded and got the many different diversities and just general information from other parents about their child. Lack of diversity in geographical area was also a weakness. I would have rather been able to take the survey across the country, got people from many different geographical areas, including poverty-stricken and also highly upper class, middle class. Other than that, children should also have taken the survey. Even though it was mostly for parents who observed their child, I feel that if the child took the survey themselves, even though they might not understand, I could have gotten a better read on the situation. All in all, I found that video games, no matter their rating, no matter the age of the child, have both positive and negative effects. I personally believe it's up to the parent and the instructor on how the child plays the video games and what they do with it. But all in all, there's both a positive and negative side to playing video games. I personally feel that the positives outweigh the negatives, but that's just my opinion. Thank you for watching.